65% of people are making this mistake with their money because if I boil down all the personal finance books to just one lesson, it's about living below your means. Basically meaning spending less than you bring in each month. But the majority of Americans have no idea how much they spent even last month. So it's really hard for anyone to live below their means if they don't even know how much they spent. But even then, a third of Americans still said that they wish they spent less. But it's not like money isn't important to people because 92% of them have one or more financial areas that they want to prioritize and improve on, like saving for emergencies, planning for retirement, and investing for their future. So if it's so important to people, where is the disconnect? And for this, I'll get into this in a little bit. But no matter what your financial goals are, living below your means is a basic foundation that will help you the most. Like, it doesn't matter if your goals are about saving for a house or investing in your child's education or about early retirement. It really starts from you spending less than you bring, so you have excess cash to work with. In this way, it's kind of similar to going into a diet. You could try keto or intermittent fasting, or you could even go vegan. But at the end of the day, you have to consume less calories than you burn so that you have a calorie deficit. And you'll be losing weight from that calorie deficit and not necessarily because of the diet that you choose to go on. But the importance of living below your means not only helps to achieve your financial goals, but also prevents financial disasters from happening. Because the only way you can spend more money than you actually have is by using your credit card and going into debt. And any consumer debt is dangerous because it goes on a downward spiral where you go into debt and you have to pay for interest and fees to make up for that debt, which will make you go into more debt and put you in that little cycle. So going back to it, why is it so hard for people to actually live below their means? And from what I see, there are two big factors that making it extra hard. And one factor is that thinking about money causes stress to people that they'll rather avoid it than have to confront it and face the numbers. And I could definitely relate to this because sometimes I hate looking at bills each month. So sometimes I'll rather avoid opening the mail so that I could feel better in the moment. But that's also why I had to start automating all of my bills instead. And in one survey, 44% of people said their main source of stress comes from money. And they'll rather avoid examining their spending habits for the fear of what they could find. And this might actually be contributing to why Americans are overspending an average of $7,500 each year. And most, if not all of this money will again be financed by their credit cards, which has the highest debt for any debt. And in layman's terms, using your credit card is the most expensive way to borrow money. And the second factor on why it's so hard for people to live below their means has been because of inflation, which is totally out of anyone's control at this point. Just for the cost of food, it's gone up nearly 8% since last year. So even if people are diligent to make sure they don't overspend, it's very hard when the same lifestyle that you had last year costs nearly 10% more without any changes. So how do we solve this issue that we have? And I personally think this is a multi-solution answer where one solution won't necessarily fix all the problems. So I would say the two main things to help live within your means and not overspend is by first budgeting to better understand your spending limit. And you can use a pen and paper or budgeting app like Mint. And I personally like to budget a little differently by putting away my savings and essential spendings like rent and utilities into an account first, and then kind of giving myself an allowance to spend on for takeout food or anything that I want for that month. And once you do this, the second thing is to take a closer look at where your money is going, whether it's subscriptions that you don't really use anymore or monthly costs that you could possibly negotiate down like cable or phone. And maybe you even find some things that you could cut back on for non-essential spending. And as a bonus, if you really want to challenge yourself, you could also hide your credit card and start using cash wherever you go when you go out to eat and go shopping. But I want to hear from you guys. What are some strategies that you use to spend less each month? And let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.